Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family.
Hi everybody, it's Cindy here with Stampin Creations. It is Monday, which means it is Mystery Monday. So thank you for joining me. If this is your first time here, welcome. A little bit about myself. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Ontario, Canada, in a small community outside of Sarnia. My community is called Brigden. I live on a farm with my husband and 2 kids and 100 head of cattle, and I work full time and find stamping to be my passion. So thank you for joining me. I don't know if you've been watching these in the past. If you have been, thank you so much. If you haven't, I hope that you'll come back and watch them going forward and go back and check out some of my past videos as well. And of course, please subscribe to my channel so that anytime I upload a video that you're notified, and share this video with your friends as well. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's get started. So tonight's card is one that I actually recently did for a group that I belong to. We call ourselves the Silver Supporting Silver group, which means nothing to most people, but it's just a group of ladies from across Canada, and we just support each other in our businesses and that kind of things, bounce ideas off each other, that kind of stuff. So what we do each quarter for each of our teams, we gather and we have one day of creative stamping, and we each do a project for our team members. So everybody, I think there's like 14 of us, each of us will design a project and we present that day, and it's in a private Facebook group, and everybody can access that if you're on one of our teams, and full of prizes and challenges and that kind of thing. It's a great, great day. So each quarter we come up with a new project that we need to design, and there's really no guidelines. It's just whatever we want to do, which is amazing because we all come up with really great ideas, and they're always different than the next person. I don't think we've ever had a repetition of projects, and we don't really plan ahead. We don't have planning meetings. We just kind of fly by the seat of our pants, and it seems to work really, really great that way. So this is a card that I recently did for that event, and the feedback was amazing. So I thought, you know what, this would be a great one to do for Mystery Monday. So if you're on my team and you've seen this already, my apologies, but you're going to do it again. If you're not on my team, has never seen this before, I can't wait to hear your feedback and your input on this. So this card is a little bit different than what I normally would tell you that you need to prepare. Normally I focus on scraps. That's usually what my Mystery Mondays are all about. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a fun folder, fancy folder, something like that. And this is one of those weeks. Now, I don't generally like to do this style of a card, only because it does take a full sheet of paper. So it is a little bit more, cost a little bit more, because you do have to use one sheet of paper versus half a sheet of paper. And there's a few other little steps, but ultimately, I think once you see this, you'll see what a wow it is, and I think you'll really, really like it. So what I told you that you needed to have was 1 sheet of solid cardstock, which we're going to score that and cut it together. 2 pieces of designer series paper that are 5 1/4 by 4. Now you can use both sides. Both sides the same. You can rotate them. You don't even really have to have 2 sheets. And I think once you see the card, you'll understand what I mean. So this might be one of those videos you want to watch first and then pause and then get your stuff ready. So you'll need 2 of those. I'm using 2 designer series paper, but you don't have to. A piece of white, this is very vanilla, my apologies, but a piece of white 4 by 5 1/4. You're going to need an element to cut with, and this can be really any shape. I'm using color and contour dies for this one, but again, you'll see when I get going what we're doing with this. And then you need a smaller shape as well, and then something to decorate your card with, so some sort of an element. Okay, so let's get started. And I think once you see where I'm going with this, I think your mind will just go, and I think you'll love, love, love this design. Honestly, the feedback's been great. This is not my original design. I just want to clarify that. This is a card, I believe I saw it, I think I saw Patty Bennett do it. So I think she was the original creator of this. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely not my sole design. So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put your paper in with the 8 1/2 side to the top, and you're going to line that up at 4 1/4. Okay, so 4 1/4, so your 8 1/2 side, which is your shorter side, and you're going to line it up at 4 1/4. You're going to take your scoring tool. So if you have a Stampin' Up! Paper cutter, it's the lighter color gray. You want to be very cautious on this. If you're not using a Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, I'm just trying to get my scoring bone folder, you can use just a bone folder, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to score all the way down. So right here, and then you're going to take this out. So we have a score line right in the middle. We're going to rotate this, and then we're going to line this up at 5 1/2. And again, we're going to score. Please be cautious that you're scoring and not cutting. We are going to cut, but not right this minute. Okay, so essentially what we've done is we've scored this into 4 sections. So now what we want to do is I'm going to put this into my paper trimmer on the 5 1/2, or sorry, the 11 side. I'm going to line this up at 5 1/2 again. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper, my cutting blade, so that would be your darker color, and I'm actually going to come down to the 4 1/4 line. Now, you're probably saying, well, how am I going to know where that is? Well, first of all, you can see your line here. You have your markers here, and actually on the side of your blade, you do have 2 little cutouts. Don't know if you can actually see this on camera, but on your blade, there are 2 little markers, and they will actually line up to to where you need to go. So if you keep an eye on that, you know, but I like to kind of keep my eyeball on this and then verify it with the measurement. So I'm going to come down with my cutting blade. I'm just going to come just to the 4 1/4 mark. It's about there. Okay. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to go to the 4 1/4. And again, I'm going to come down to this 5 1/2 line. And essentially, if I did it right, this should come out. Okay. Ooh, I need to change my blade apparently. All right. So let's just put the paper trimmer out of the way for a second. So this is what we have. We have a piece of paper that was like this, and we've trimmed out this side. Now, if you have cut out the wrong section, it's not a big deal. Do not stress. It's fine. You can modify. You can actually do it this way. You could do it this way. So many ways you could do this card, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to fold, and this is where your bone folder comes in very handy. So if you do not have a bone folder in your toolkit, you should have one. And then you're going to fold this one over. Okay. And bone fold. Increase that. Okay. Okay. So the bone folder is very important because having a nice firm crease line is very, very important with this card. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I am actually going to take my designer series paper. I'm going to use the lemons, and I'm going to actually glue this on the top here. However, I don't want to glue the whole thing, okay? I only want to glue along the perimeter or the edge of this paper, and the reason is because we're going to cut this out. So just very, very carefully going along the edge. I don't usually use liquid glue for this, but my tape runner is at home. So, all right. So now I'm going to close up my card like this, and I'm going to adhere this down as such. Okay. So I'm picking the lemons for mine, but you can pick whatever side you want. And again, when you're using the liquid glue, just be cautious so you're not using too much so that it doesn't kind of gush out the sides. All right, so now what we're going to do is, I said that you needed an element. So I'm using Color and Contour Shapes. The dies from this one here, Color and Contour. But you can use whatever shape you want, okay? So you don't have to do exactly like myself. I'm just trying to find where my, oh, sorry, it's this one right here. Ooh, thought I lost a die there for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to open up my card like this, and I am going to cut this out. Okay, I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to cut this piece out with my die cutting machine. Okay? All right, now I'm going to go off camera here just for a second. so that I can run this through. And again, you want to make sure that it's somewhat even. Even's always a great option. Of course, when I did this on camera, mine was not even. And then it just threw me right for a loop. It's going to make a loud noise. There it goes. All right. So, coming back on camera, this is what we have. Okay. So, because I didn't glue all the way into the middle, I now have two pieces here that I can use for something else. Okay, I'm not going to use it for this card, but this is what I have so far. Okay, now I'm going to take my other designer series paper and I'm going to keep it with the lemons because I really like the lemons. I think it's really, really cute, but you could use this side as well. I'm going to use the lemons and I'm going to actually adhere this into the center or the opening of my card. Okay, I just think the lemons are adorable, but you can pick whatever. Now, if you don't want to use two pieces of designer series paper, this is where you would actually use just a solid piece. Okay, so white or vanilla or whatever. Again, you don't always have to do your card exactly like mine. And tomorrow on my Facebook page, in my group, I actually will show you other samples that I made during the team event that I was talking about with the same layout. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So now I did some pre-cutting ahead of time just because I wanted to. But this is, I've already pre-cut this crushed curry ahead, but I could have actually just used this piece here, right? So I just chose to go with the yellow, but I could actually use that green. And the green is just really from the card, so I could use that for sure. But I've decided to go with the yellow because I think the yellow is super cute. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere this down. So what I like to do is close my card up like this, then put my element in because it should fit perfectly so that I know it's exactly where I want it to be and it will line up perfectly. So now for this card, I've actually gone ahead and cut the next size down in the color and contour, which is this piece, and I've cut it in white. And I'm going to stamp this one. And I'm going to actually stamp, what does this say? Take care of yourself. And I think a lot of us need to hear that these days. Take care of yourself. So I'm going to actually stamp this in garden green, which is the green color that I'm using. So take care of yourself. Now I do ink up my ink pads or my stamps quite a bit before stamping, only because some of my ink pads are very, very dry. So I'm going to stamp take care of yourself right here in the center. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere that down. And I can leave my card just like this. It'd be absolutely adorable. But I thought it would be really, really cute to add the teacup to it. Because this paper actually is from the teacup set. Which I think is so cute. So I have this here. It's time for tea. And then these flowers. Now, maybe I'll go this side. Yeah, I'll go this side because I want to make sure that this kind of comes up here like that. Okay, and I'm going to do some popping up of that with my dimensionals. So I've already pre-cut this just for time savings more than anything. I don't know what's got into me. My nose is very, very itchy. Okay, so here we go. Time for tea. And then I'm going to put this down. I just realized what I did. Did anybody else realize what I did? That was awfully silly of me. So when you're doing this though, guys, think about where you're putting your dimensionals because I just glued that completely shut. That was silly. I knew better. So I'm going to actually do this and this. So I'm actually adhering it onto the card. And then this is just going to tuck back behind like that. Okay, so now when I go to open this, oh, hang on, I'm stuck. Oh, because it's sticking on this. Let me see if I can just take that off. There. Now, I might actually just put a little bit of adhesive here just because I don't trust this. Or I could actually do it with a glue dot, which probably would have been safer. Oh, because that's way too much glue there. Let's hold that for a second. And then on the inside of this is where our solid piece of white will go. Okay, so here's this one. So it opens like this, and then we'll put our white on the inside. So you see how super simple this card is, but it's such a wow, right? Like it always gets people going, oh, that's so beautiful. And you're like, I know, right? So, okay, paper trimmer. So this is going to be my white. I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I like to go 5 1/4 first, and then by 4, and then by 4. Let's not have these to have them. Okay. All right. So now I'm not going to put anything on the inside of this. I'm just going to let this, because I feel like I could always add this in later. So this one with the lemons I think is adorable. But again, you have to just give some thought as to where you're putting your glue and your elements, right? So you don't do what I just did and glue down the wrong spot. All right. Super duper cute, right? And then this one says, it's time for tea. So I think that's really, really adorable. Okay. So that's a really nice bright card to brighten up somebody's day when they're kind of maybe feeling a little bit down, or, you know, just want to let them know that you're thinking of them. That's a really, really great one. All right. So that's a great all occasions card. So, and again, I used Cup of Tea and the color and contour dies for that one. All right. So these are scraps. We'll leave them here. Okay, so now the next card that we're going to do is actually a fall card. I know, shocking. And I'm going to use Hello Harvest on this one. And I'm going to use Very Vanilla. And I've actually stamped and die cut these because I did this on aqua paper, watercolor paper, because we're going to watercolor those. And then I used this beautiful paper that's from the Rustic Harvest paper pack. And then I figured we would just do black on this one. Okay. It's going to be kind of a dark card, but I'm hoping by doing the pumpkins and the greens, that will be okay. All right. So again, we're going 4 1/4 on your 8 1/2 side. And we're using our scoring blade and we're going to score. We're going to take it out. We're going to rotate and we're going to go 5 1/2. And with your scoring blade. And now I can bring in my cutting blade and come down to 4 1/4. So there, pick it up, rotate it 4 1/4 down to the 5 1/2 mark. Pull it away. And there we go. Okay. So again, if you wanted to do this card a little bit differently, you could do this as a portrait card. I have seen people do this as a portrait card actually. So what you would do, actually I would probably just go this way a little bit differently. And again, no right or wrong as to which way you're scoring this. It's just you have to find the way that your cardstock is going to sit flat the best is really the part with this. Okay. There you go. So you could do this one as a portrait. So it goes, this is where you would cut. It goes open and open. Okay. I'm going to do this one landscape because the paper is going landscape. And I don't want to use that paper. I like this paper. It's beautiful. Okay. So again, let's do some adhering here. So we'll use this little guy here. And we are only putting the glue around the outside perimeter very lightly because we don't want it gushing out. We're not putting it on the center of our card, remember? Okay, and then we're going to put this one down here. I feel like this is a little bit crooked, my paper, for some reason. Not sure why. Oh, I got some gushing going on here. Again, if you use too much adhesive. Okay, so now, such beautiful paper. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use my color and contour. I might do this one slightly different, actually. Maybe not. Okay. So I'm going to use the color and contour. I'm going to cut that out. Do I want to do that or do I want to use my big circles? Sorry, I'm just having a thought here. I've taken out my circles. And I was wondering if this was the one I wanted to use it on. So just bear with me just 1 second, because I thought I took them out. And I don't see it now. Oh, because it's right here. Right here in front of me. Okay, sorry. Boy, I think I'm losing my mind some days. Okay, I'm thinking for this one, I might use a circle. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to use a circle on this one. I'm going to go all out. All right, so I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to cut out my shape. So again, it can be whatever shape you want. There's not a right or a wrong to this. It's whatever shape you have that you're comfortable with. If you don't have any dies, you can cut this with just your cutting blade if you wanted. I just think that's a little bit harder, but it can be done. Okay, so now when I pop this out, I have my 2 shapes here, right? So look how pretty this is. So now if I use a piece of very vanilla to go on the inside of that, I think would look amazing. What are the chances I have a piece of very vanilla? Oh, heart, look at this. Okay, I'm going to cut this off camera here. Again, if I'm going too fast for you, you can pause the video and get caught up. I tend to craft a lot quicker than most, I'm told. So please don't let that discourage you. All right, so let's see here. So if you're not familiar with this die set here, it's my favorite. It's called Stylish Shapes, and it is in the big book. Just love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I'm going to put my color and contour one back in the box so I don't lose it. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to bring in this paper again. Oops, let's put it the right way. Like this, which might look very, very busy, right? But look how pretty this is. Okay, and then I'm going to put some pumpkins on here. All right, let's do this. Actually, I could use the back part of that, couldn't I? It's fine. Okay. So this one, I can put the glue wherever because it's going on the inside. So just make sure if your paper is directional, that it's going the right direction before you glue it down, because that's always fun when you get things like that the right way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this. Oh, I got dirty on here, but I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to try seeing if I can erase some of this dirt off here first. So this is just a white eraser that I have on my desk. that I like to keep. Sometimes it just, like, I get black marks on it, and it just seems to help take some of that off. I am looking for my Cajun Craze right here, ink pad that's going to say hello. So I'm going to use this hello. That's from the set. Hello. Of course, I overstamped. Lovely. Okay. Nobody will know but me, right? Okay, so I'm going to stamp this here. Pop this up here. I know I'm going really, really fast, but you guys can stop. Stop, get caught up. I think I owe a couple prizes too for the past couple weeks. It's been very, very chaotic in our house. We've had a lot of illness going on. Okay, so now I said we were going to watercolor these. Remember I said that? Okay, so let's do this. So what do you need? You need, I can find mine. We'll be all set. Here we go. Okay, you need these. These are aqua painters. And you get them in a different pack now. We just changed them. They come in a beautiful white case, right, like this. This is how they come. They're called water painters. And you get 3 different ones. So you get a fine-tipped one. You get, here's a fine-tipped one. See, I haven't even used mine yet. You get the paintbrush. I want to make sure I put that back in. Whoops, so my bristles don't get kind of screwy. Like that is what I was trying to avoid. Okay, and then you get this one here, which is very similar to what I'm going to use right now. So the ones that I'm using are our older style ones. They all operate about the same. I do like the paintbrush portion to this one. So, okay. So how I like to do this is I like to put a piece of paper underneath. And I don't know where my scrap paper went. So I'm just going to grab this. This is a piece of chipboard from the Paper Pumpkin. So I like to put something underneath it just to kind of catch some of the water. If you have an old style ink pad, what you can do is just kind of squeeze. So I'm just pushing the top and the bottom together. And what happens is that actually transfers the ink from your ink pad onto the top of your cover. That's what I find is the quickest way. If you don't have new ink pads, you can kind of do the same thing. It might just take a little bit more pressure. Okay. So what I'm doing is I've put water in here. It does tell you to where the fill line is. And then I've just squeezed the water to bring it down into the chamber to engage the water into the brush. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up and I'm just kind of swirling it around. And I'm just going to come in and just start coloring. Okay. So you do need water paper, aqua paper to do this. And the reason you need the aqua paper is because if you use regular cardstock, it is not designed to withhold the water. So it's kind of important for that aspect. There are certain techniques that you do not need special paper for. This would be one of them that I would recommend. What will happen is if you don't use aqua paper, is it will actually, you'll see your paper lift and it will pile, because the way the white cardstock is made is in layers. So as you apply water to it, what happens is that those layers start to lift. Okay, so the aqua paper, the water paper, is designed to withhold that water. So it is definitely something that you need aqua paper for. Now this tip is not wet enough, so I'm just squeezing some more water into the chamber to engage that, because it should be. I'm going to actually switch aqua painters. I don't like the tip on that one. Let's see if this one's better. Yeah, this one might be better. There we go. Yeah, you can see that water engaging a lot more. This is much better. Okay, so I could tell by the way it was coming out There was not enough water engaged in that because it was not really blending in so well. So I love aqua coloring. It's something that I don't really do very often anymore. I don't know why. I think since we've got the blends, I've kind of got away from it. But the best way to really do this is kind of come in light where you want to go, and then come back and you can shadow in the other parts. So this is with pumpkin pie is what I'm using right now. But I actually can come in with some Cajun craze as well and add some color. So to clean this, all I do is I just kind of go back and forth really on a scrap piece of paper until it comes clean. And I'm just gonna let that dry. If you get too much water, you can just tap and kind of get that color lifted, but it will absorb into your paper. Oops, sorry, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to use green Old Olive for the stem. So again, here's my stem. And then there we go. Okay. So now, the really nice thing about this is that I can come back. Actually, I'll do these flowers too while I'm here. I can come back and keep adding to that, which is really, really awesome. So if you've ever watercolored in the past, it's kind of the same idea. Honestly, since we've had the blends, I find I do less of this, but I do really, really enjoy it. It does give it a much different look than the blends. It does give it that watercolored look, which is really kind of cool. And I find it very relaxing, to be quite honest. So you can just do like one layer and then come back in and add where you think needs to be added. Do your shading, that kind of thing. So if I think I'm done with my green, my Old Olive, I'm going to put that away. And then I'm going to come in with my crushed curry because I want my flowers to be like sunflowers. So you can see how this is a foam ink pad that I'm using here, but you can see I still was able to transfer the color over. Some might be easier than others to do that with. Okay. And of course, you can use any color you want. And this is really great because you get all these different brushes. They last forever because they don't have to be replaced unless your bristles really get ruined, which I can't imagine. So yeah, so it's a great way to do some coloring without buying all the blends. You just need to have the aqua paper to do that. And we do sell the aqua paper in the book. I'd have to look up. They just redesigned the paper, the packaging for that a little while ago. I can't recall how much it is, but it would be under the specialty paper at the back. I'll look it up if you have any questions about it. So I see some more leaves that I might have missed on this. So I think I'll bring in my green again. Yellow, my Old Olive. So this one's taking me a little bit more time just because I am doing this watercoloring. But again, I haven't shown you guys this in the past, so I thought this was a really, really great one to share this technique with you. So I have done watercoloring classes in the past, and they were very, very popular. So if anybody's interested in those, again, let me know. It's something we can definitely consider as a class in the upcoming months. So I'm using soft suede. Now, if you don't get enough transferred into your ink pad, you can actually bring your aqua painter in to your ink pad and to get a much more concentrated color in there. Okay, and I'm just doing the centers. And then again, I'm just going to go back and forth to get that out till it's clean. And then I'll maybe use some pumpkin pie again, just to do the little buds. Just to give it a little bit more color. Kind of like this. Okay. You can see how quickly that kind of comes together. So here's my pumpkin. So if I wanted to bring in some Cajun Craze, just to add some extra shading to my pumpkin, I could do that. Sound like a crack there for a second. Bring that in here. Again, I'm not spending a ton of time on this, but you could spend lots of time getting this coloring just perfect. I'm doing this very, very quick, but you can see how has that shading. Here. Like that. Okay? Okay, I'm going to stop there because I could spend all day watercoloring. I just love it so much. Okay, so here's my pumpkin and here's my flowers. Let's come back to my card. I'm going to get this out of the way now because I think I'm done with that. Okay, so now if I put my pumpkin about there, maybe I'll go this way. Actually, maybe I won't even go in there. No, maybe I'll go on the inside. What do you think? We could do that. Possibly. I was thinking these flowers. Could do something like that. That would cover up my blemish there too. How fun is that? Only problem is, sorry, I'm thinking I could just do this. I don't like that. I'm toying with this. I'm just going to do it on the inside. I'm rushing, to be quite honest, because I know that this video takes a long time to upload. So I try to keep the videos as short as I can. Because I know you guys have things to do besides listen to me yabba yabba. And because I know it takes a while for the videos to upload. So I just want to get them loaded as quickly as I can. I could put the pumpkin there. Sorry, I'm still playing with this. I'm just not going to let it win. I'm going to put the pumpkin here. And I think I'll put the flowers here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, not my favorite card, which is funny because I thought this was going to be my favorite card. But I guess you just never know sometimes, right? What is going to be your favorite and what's not. So I'd love to hear how many of you guys have ever done this watercoloring technique before. And what you've thought of it. I'm trying to cover up my blemish here too. Oops. It's got the sticker on that one and not the, or the backing on that one, not the actual. Okay. And then that will open like that. Okay, so card number 2. card number 3, I really have no idea what I'm going to do with this card. Oh, I didn't even grab a base for it. Okay, let me grab a piece of cardstock. So this one, I'm actually going to use Sweet Sorbet. So Sweet Sorbet is actually one of the in colors, the new in colors. And I wasn't sure about this color, I'm not going to lie, but actually I love it. It's not a red, it's not a pink, it's an awesome color. So let's go again. 4 1/4. Turn 5 1/2. Now, this one again, I'm going to do landscape because the paper speaks landscape. But you can totally do this as a portrait card. You have to look at what your paper is doing and kind of go with it, okay? So my paper is landscape. So it's going to have to be landscape. Okay, so here is my top, and I'm bone folding. And then here is my outside, and I'm bone folding. And I don't know if you guys heard my paper cutter hit my paper. It did. Okay, so I am using, this is actually the Santa Express paper that I'm using. And I forgot how adorable this paper was, to be quite honest. So that's why I'm using it, because I saw it sitting there. I was like, oh, I could use that. That is just so stinking cute. So, Santa Express paper, and again, only along the edge. Come on, liquid glue. Cooperate. So here we go. Not your traditional Christmas colors on this paper by any means, but I can tolerate these non-traditional Christmas colors. I might actually use this. Thinking. I know there's danger. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to go off camera and I am going to cut this one. So now remember, tomorrow I'm going to show you some other versions of this that I did. Actually, I might do it at the end of this video. Just because I want to explain a few things about the cards that I did. And the pictures will follow tomorrow. So loud when that goes through. Okay, here we go. So we do have this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down like this. This is going to be the inside. Okay. This is going to glue like this. Right? So then we know it's exactly where we want it to go because it came out of that spot. So we're happy with that. Again, if you don't have die cuts, don't worry. You can cut this out by by measuring and stuff. Okay, so now this is going to be the inside of my card. This piece here. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this card. Love it, hate it, eh. And the other thing is, you'll see all this week, there will be posts about the upcoming classes, because I'm hearing from a lot of people that you're not seeing my posts for some reason. And I'm not sure why, but so I will be posting each of the upcoming classes throughout the week. Because I would hate for anybody to miss out on those because there's some really, really great ones planned. Okay, I'm just going to cut a white. And I'm hoping we can stick to the plan of doing in-person classes. I know there's a lot of sickness going on out there, so we may have to pivot once again. I hope not, but I was out today and there was a lot of people wearing masks again. So that tells you lots of bad stuff going on out there. All right, so I did cut these as well because I was thinking they could go there, is what I was thinking. Now these greens are not the same. It doesn't really matter because they're Stampin' Up! Colors and all the colors coordinate. So even though it's not the exact same shade of green or whatever, it does not matter, right? So, so if I go ahead and put these here, like this, I could probably do a Marion Bright here. Yeah, okay, that's what we'll do. So we'll do a Marion Bright on Sweet Sorbet. But what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to actually adhere these first. Like that. This way, I know exactly where I need to put my font. So it's a little bit of pre-planning there. Okay, so if I put one here, one here, one here. Let's see how we make out. There. Guess I could have put one under here. There. Okay. Marion Bright. I'm using a very big block for this. Bigger than I would have liked, but that's fine. Okay, so Marion Bright. Close that up. Marion Bright. And then there we go. Okay. All right. Now, for some reason, these are popping up on the one side. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so you guys can vote while I grab my other cards to show you. Possibly. If I can find them. They might still be over here, actually. Yes, they are. Okay. All right. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So there's number 1. Pretty, right? Here's number 2. And here's number 3. All right. My camera looks really blurry. I don't know why. All right, let me show you some of the other ones that I've done. So this is the one that I did on Saturday, and you see how crooked that is? Oh my, so embarrassing. But anyway, it's fine. I was rushing. Okay, so there's that one. This was the mock-up in prep for Saturday. Okay. So you can see I used Color and Contours dies on those. I did do one with the Cottage Rose. This one's one of my favorites, I think. So simple. Then we have, well, the gnomes. Like, how could we not do one with Mr. Gnomes? Now, this one I did mess up on. And I put the dimensionals in the wrong spot. I didn't think I had I had fixed that before the thing. So I folded this the wrong way. Well, not the wrong way, just a different way, right? But I think it turned out adorable. And the very first version I did of this was this one, which I absolutely love as well. It's the holly paper that I love. So much fun. Right? So you'll see those pictures come up tomorrow. All right, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed that. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with those cards. And I'm just looking for some feedback, right? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Would you like to see more of that kind of thing? Do you like the scraps? That kind of thing. And again, I am posting all the classes this week. Every day there will be a new post, just so that you can see them all, because I'm hearing that a lot of you guys aren't seeing what I'm posting. So it's a little bit concerning, but Facebook is changing things consistently, and it's getting harder and harder to keep up with all the changes, to be quite honest. So anyway, feedback and input's great. If you're wondering about stuff, please ask, because it's hard for me to keep track sometimes of what you're seeing and what you know and what you don't know. So that's always helpful for me as well. All right, so please be sure to share this video with your friends and your family. Subscribe so that you don't miss any other messages that I post or any updates or anything like that. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a great day, and we will talk very soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made